Welcome back. Now we're turning our attention to Kaduna politics. And yesterday, the tribunal did give some ruling. Of course, there are reactions from Counsel to the PDP, the APC. Even the governor himself also spoke, if we can get it. But here now, the perspective that came through after that judgment.
The tribunal has dismissed the petition filed by the PDP. That is the ruling of the tribunal in the morning. But you know, by the provision of the constitution, they are required to also consider the petition on merit. So on merit, two of them said that election is supposed to be conducted in 22 polling units because the number of the voters there exceed the margin of lead. But they have said that the PDP wanted it to be declared as the winner of the election. The tribunal said that they have no proof that. They allege that there are corrupt practices perpetrated by APC. They said they have no proof that. So in essence, as of today, the PDP petition is dismissed by the tribunal. Unless PDP appeal to the Court of Appeal, then we now know what will happen there. But the petition has been dismissed.
One way or the other, but we are still going to test an arm of the judgment too. It's okay. It's brilliant because we believe the materials we placed before is sufficient enough for the court to have even declared our candidate the winner of the election, because we know PDP won the election in Kaduna State.
That means you're not satisfied with the judgment?
Well, I cannot say we are not satisfied or we are satisfied, but then what I'm telling you is we'll go into this election and definitely we'll come back victorious. Based on the facts placed before it. Court arrive at decision based on the submissions and argument of lawyers, and the majority of the tribunal judges decided that the election was inconclusive, and one judge affirmed the election. So, and the majority decision of the court is that the election was inconclusive.
All right, so there you've got those perspectives. Well, the governor, of course, ever since then has since spoken and tweeted, calling on the PDP candidate to come together, that they need to pull together and move the state forward. But we'll wait to hear from the PDP and see what steps they take next, if they'll be going upstairs, which many suspect that they may likely do that. So we did reach out to Baba Aliyu, Counsel to the PDP, who himself is a former PDP Northwest Zonal Secretary, but he's not joined us as of yet. But we do have Sunusi Musa, who is a Senior Advocate of Nigeria and Counsel to the APC. He joins us virtually this morning from Kaduna. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the program today.
Morning, thank you.
All right, so let me start with this perspective, because, I mean, while this judgment came through, I'm sure you must have also seen a lot of the confusion that was going on about what the true situation was. So from your perspective, if we could start with that, why do you think that that perspective came through in terms of people saying, well, no, the court had actually sacked the APC governor and then ordered the rerun?
I think it was, let me say, some people who want to spread misinformation, who wanted to create a bad name, particularly for the judiciary and our system, because within the first 2 hours of the judgment, or in less than 2 hours of the judgment, the tribunal indeed really dismissed the petition of the PDP. So one would have expected if there will be any news to go out at that time, it should have been that issue of the dismissal of the petition. But since I was in the tribunal, so I may not know, some mischief makers wanted to create unnecessary tension, and that was why they went out with that story saying that the tribunal did sack the governor of Kaduna State, which was not true actually.
Okay, so technicalities is coming through yet again on this matter. Could you shed some light on why this appeared to be the case? But yes, Mr. Ashuru has spoken. We'll come to his statement shortly. So, but could you explain to those all of us here, why that was an issue with this judgment?
I think it's not about technicality, so to say, to that extent. That of the justice of the case. This petition ought to have been dismissed, I think, as far back as 16th of June or 26th. I can't remember. The rule is clear that at the close of pleadings, the PDP, the petitioner, whoever is the petitioner, has a duty to apply for the tribunal to start pre-hearing. And the provision of the Electoral Act says that where the petitioner fails to apply for the issuance of pre-hearing information sheet, then it should be considered that the petitioner has abandoned the petition. And that was what happened. So having failed to do that, we now apply that that petition be dismissed because the law requires that the petition be dismissed. But, you know, the tribunal couldn't go on to deliver the ruling at that time because by the provision of section 285, I think 8, all ruling on such had to be, tribunal is required to defer ruling to final judgment. So, and the tribunal was duty bound to deliver that ruling yesterday, and it did, and it has dismissed the petition. So, I think by and large that was what happened, and it is the law, it's not technicality, so to say. The provision of the law is there, and we must obey it if we want to the court to listen to us and ventilate our grievances. Where we fail to do that, then we have nobody to blame but ourselves.
Mr. Issa Ashiru has since released a statement, and it might be a little lengthy, but if I could just speak on some of the issues that he raised, much as he said, yes, concerning this Kaduna State Election Tribunal, it became necessary for him to share to his teaming supporters the true position of the ruling. And then he quotes, on the preliminary objection, the tribunal based on the majority of 2-1 judges upheld the preliminary objection of the respondent to the effect that the application for the pre-hearing was done prematurely, that is, before the service of the last set of petitions reply to the petitioner's reply to the second respondent's reply to the petition was served. However, the law enjoins the tribunal as a trial court to proceed to pronounce on the merit of the substantive suit, so that, he goes on to say, just skip that now, so that in the merit of the substantive suit, so that in the event that the Court of Appeal finds that the trial tribunal was wrong in its decision on the preliminary objection, it would have the benefit of pronouncing on the decision of the tribunal in the substantive matter. This is one of the points that he raised there. Could you shed some light on this particular, because he thinks something went wrong here?
He perfectly put it the way it ought to be. That is it. The petition has been dismissed, but you know, in anticipation that they may likely go on appeal, which I pray they may not, because now the tribunal, it means that if the Court of Appeal finds that the tribunal was wrong in saying that they have abandoned their petition, then because Court of Appeal is not a court of first instance, it will have to now send the case back to the tribunal for trial. So in order not to waste time on that, this is where the tribunal will just go ahead and determine the petition on merit. So when they go to Court of Appeal, then the Court of Appeal will take a decision holistically based on the ruling and based on the judgment.
All right, let's go to that.
Well, Mr. Sunisi, just 1 second, because I can see that you're still having some conversations, and we'll be taking a short break in a while. But just before then, we understand from that same statement that my colleague read, the tribunal, the statement quotes further, and I want you to confirm whether this is true. The tribunal, by a split decision of 2-1, accordingly nullified the election of the governor of Kaduna State ordered that the certificate of return be retrieved and fresh elections be conducted in some polling units in 4 local government areas, and the outcome thereof be reckoned with before the declaration of the winner of the governorship election in Kaduna State. Can you confirm that as well?
No, that statement is contradictory in itself. When in the beginning it says the tribunal nullified the election, and it wants to say that the tribunal direct that the election should be conducted in some polling units. And the two statements are incongruous. Because if the election was nullified, then there couldn't have been an order for election in some few polling units. What the tribunal did was to say that there ought not to be declaration until election is conducted in 22 polling units, majority of them, while the fine judgment of the chairman of the tribunal upheld the return of Mr. Obasani as the governor of Kaduna State.
Well, let's take a quick break because there are questions around whether or not that's what the CTC says, but we'll explore that when we return from this break. Do stay with us. Senator Musa is still with us. He is a senior advocate of Nigeria and counsel to the APC in the governorship election of Kaduna State. Well, just a quick one before my colleague Bukola comes in, Mr. Musa. Is the CTC out so people can confirm, this statement, or at least compare this statement with what the court actually said?
Maybe today.
Okay. What are your aspirations? I mean, given what the court has said now, how much time do we have to conduct these elections that you're talking about?
The election.
I mean, the court said that 4 LGAs need to have a rerun of sorts, right?
The court did not say that.
So,
to the best of my.
So what did the court say?
The court dismissed the petition. That is the position of the law as of today.
Okay. So when this statement that says that the certificate of return be retrieved and fresh elections be conducted in some polling units in 4 LGAs and the outcome thereof be reckoned with is not true?
Read the statement. You don't read his statement in total. He agreed that the tribunal has dismissed his petition, but he said that by the law they are required to look at whether his petition has merit. And that is just, by the way, like an academic exercise, since the petition has been dismissed. So whatever is said by the tribunal after that, unless the order of dismissal is reversed, the issue of conducting new election cannot even arise.
Well, Mr. Musa, the confusion raises 2 issues for me. First of all, let's go back to Mr. Ashiru's reaction to the judgment, where he says the law enjoins the tribunal as a trial court to proceed to pronounce on the merit of the substantive suit, so that in the event of the Court of Appeal finds that the trial tribunal was wrong in its decision, it would have the benefit of pronouncing on the decision of the tribunal. Do you worry that if it heads to the tribunal, the appeal court could, take advantage of this and also of the split judgment 2 against 1, to give the PDP to grant the PDP its prayers?
Why should I be worried? I mean, as a lawyer, I've done my job, and we've succeeded in presenting the case of the respondent, and we believe if they go on appeal, the decision of the tribunal is going to be affirmed, that the petition has been abandoned, the dismissal order will be affirmed, and also we believe if they go to Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal will reverse that order for election to be conducted in certain polling units, because you need to read the judgment of the chairman of the tribunal, which is in the minority anyway. And you should also remember that this happened in the case of Fintiri, which the Supreme Court in his wisdom look at it and saw that even if election were to be conducted in those polling units, it is practically impossible for the APC to win the election. Because you are talking of a margin of 10,000. And whereas where even the polling units where the majority judgment said that election should be conducted is 16,000. So by common sense, you know that it would be practically impossible for the PDP to get 10,000 votes to be able to neutralize the margin and be able to get additional vote to win the election. So why should the public funds be subjected to such a more of an academic exercise? Assuming that, because I'm confident that the order of dismissal is going to be sustained even on appeal.
Well, unfortunately, the PDP is not here. You know, they would have liked to respond to that. But this different interpretation of court judgments, the statement of Mr. Ashiru here is evident. And then, you know, you can also cite other court judgments having to do with election or contention of leadership of political parties. How can the court take care of it? Because the papers initially ran away with the story that, you know, the election victory of the Kaduna governor had been dismissed. How can the court take care of this ambiguity in its rulings?
It is rather the other way around, that the papers should be careful in reporting, that they should not rush to report what just a supporter of a particular candidate tells them about his interpretation of what the judgment of court is. The reporters should be diligent enough that to sit in the court and listen to what the court says, or at least verify what is the actual position of the court or tribunal from the officials of the court or from the lawyers. Because once you go to politicians and listen to them, they normally create this mischief. Because if I'm sure all the papers did not get their report from any lawyer or from the official of the court. And like I said, if you read the statement of Mr. Ashu, it is clear there is no ambiguity in his statement. He clearly said that the tribunal dismissed his petition, upheld the preliminary objection of the respondent, so which he agreed that his petition is dismissed. And if, as of today, PDP decides not to go on appeal, then that is the end of it. The APC and its candidate remains in the seat as governor of Kaduna State. So therefore, I think the confusion, the people that has to do something about this is not the court. It is the reporters and the media houses. They should not be in a hurry to break news without verifying what is actually the position of the law. Once we do that, we wouldn't have ended up with this confusion that was created deliberately by some few.
I'm pretty sure that the coming days are going to tell us a thing or two, because as you very well know, sometimes it's a question of perspectives, who is saying what and how they say it. But then for now, we have to let you go, and thank you so much for your time. Sanusi Musa is the Senior Advocate of Nigeria and Counsel to the APC in the governorship election in Kaduna State. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.